reset us real quick, and as we start getting into all the fun details. So here we go. Are y'all ready? Valerie, she looks like she's ready. So here we go. Welcome to There's Layers to This, our Nashville recap episode. It's a special episode. We are in season 5. I will remind to anyone who's new or who's returning, this is season 5 of There's Layers to This. I'm your host, creatress, Sara Imora, and I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Miss B Dizzle. And yeah, just a little bit about me. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I've been in Web3 since 2021, actually since 2017, but actually 2021 when I really started focusing on NFTs and more full-time focused on Web3. So our show is all about Web3, art, and Toads. And Toads is really just a stand-in for a lot of things. Cryptodes is what we mean, but what we really mean is public domain art and things that can be used by a wide audience, which is very, very relevant here in Web3. So without further ado, I'm going to send it over to Valerie. And after she does her intro, we'll get into all the fun stuff we did in Nashville, because we were out there for almost a week. So there's a lot to cover here. And I'm really excited to hear about the events Adele and Crypto Snacks were at too. So yeah, Valerie.
Hey everyone, super excited. We're back with There's Layers to This. Hey everyone, my name is Valerie, aka V Dizzle. I started in the space back in May of 2021. I was gifted my very first NFT in a giveaway that I won from Gary V himself. Gary V has a NFT project called Ethereum. And I won the NFT, and immediately I had bid offers of $140,000. And I thought, what the heck is happening here? I need to dive more into what is crypto, what is blockchain, and why is this stuff going crazy? So fast forward, many of you guys know I did not sell my NFT. I did not know there was cycles, ups and downs. I was very naive. I thought it kept going up and up. But I'm understanding now. I'm going through one of my first cycles. But since then, I've been able to branch out and join Bitcoin, got some Bitcoin and ordinals and runes, and just attended my first Bitcoin conference. And I'm super, super excited to share with you guys my experience as a first time attendee. And then also I attended as press. So I also helped do a couple of events, but I also was there as press. So that was really, really cool. But welcome everyone to our show, everyone who is tuning in either on our lives on Twitter or on our live stream. We are live streaming on both YouTube and Twitter right now. So if you see us on the camera, we're saying hello to you. And you can also see our other speakers on the live stream.
I love it. So without further ado, let's get into Nashville. Yeah, where do we start?
Let's talk about, well, how long were you there? I think to give people context, how long were people in town for? Because I know some of us were there longer than others. I was there Tuesday through Sunday, so I was there for quite a few days. And yeah, I'll just leave it there. I was there Tuesday through Sunday.
Yep, me too. Exactly same. So July 23rd until July 28th. I left on the 28th very, very early.
I'd love to hear from Adele and Crypto Snacks. How long were you guys in Nashville? And maybe, are you still there? Some people are still there.
I've been in Nashville a little bit longer, just 25 years.
Oh, wow.
Nashville is my city. So I had the pleasure to see it grow and turn from a sleepy city into like a tech center. So this was awesome. But I was there. I actually came on the 20th because I was traveling, and then flew out literally on Sunday morning as well to Paris.
Paris. Oh, so you're
Oh
in
my
Paris now,
gosh.
Adele?
I told you I am crazy. So after those 7 events in 3 days, I had to skedaddle to Paris to moderate a panel in the during the Olympics, as well as participated in another panel, all in 26 hours, including crazy things like getting on trains. All the roads were blocked. Had to bike throughout Paris, so I can tell you juicy details when time comes. And then after 26 hours, I was back to Charles de Gaulle Airport, and then flew straight to Vegas for another panel called Masterminds, Investor Masterminds, how to unlock the $1 trillion AI market. And then after another 36 hours, I am finally back home in Nashville.
My
Wow.
goodness. I'm just thinking, how are you able to operate on that high level? And are you getting rest? Are you taking care of yourself? What are some tips? I think that's worth a conversation too. What are some tips to take care of yourself? Because I'm actually under the weather now that I've come back from Nashville. So, how are you handling all of it?
So number one is hydrate well, and make sure you always have your vitamins and eat well, because if you forget to eat, you're not fueling your body. And then make sure to take a little bit time to do any kind of, like, small activity, even if you walk around the hotel or something like that, because it helps your body. And then I like cold showers in the morning and warm showers in the evening. I noticed that it makes a big difference. And finally, try to adjust to the time zone. So when I'm flying to Paris, for example, I made sure that I'm up and running in the morning in Paris. So this way, I got a little bit sleep, and I'm ready to like sync with the time zone. That makes a big difference. And I attribute it all to my loving family who take good care of me. So you should ask them.
Aw, that is so sweet, but that is such a huge part, right? Obviously, many of us have our partners, have our families, and some of them are not even in the space with us, right? And some of them are, but either way, it does take a lot of support for, to have us go out here, do these events. And wow, Adele, you are definitely a pro, and it sounds like you've been doing this for quite some time, that you've got the routine down. And I appreciate the advice, because this is only year 3 for me, and I'm still trying to get my footing and my grounding on how to stay healthy while traveling and doing the events. So I appreciate the share.
My pleasure.
Let's go over to Crypto Snacks. Crypto Snacks, how long were you in Nashville, or are you still there? Or have you been there for 25 years?
Well, the reality is, I did just the opposite tour of Dr. Adele's. I started on the 7th of July in Paris, the 9th of July in Brussels, Belgium for 6 days for ECC. Then I went over to Ibiza, that would be Spain, for 3 days for the Ibiza ECC Extended. And then I was invited to Lisbon, Portugal for another 4 days. Got back into Houston, Texas on the 22nd for 36 hours and was back out in the world renowned Nashville, Tennessee. Thursday morning, I was on a flight at 6:30 a.m., ran all day Thursday in Nashville. Dr. Dell's hosted a most amazing high-level roundtable event at the Nashville Entrepreneurial Center. We had an amazing party on Saturday, to say the least, full of all kinds of wisdom, business pitch competitions, and then an off-the-charts Pizza Dow coordinated pizza party for everybody with a super-sized bottle of champagne to end the evening. I advocate Dr. Adele's sleep, hydration, vitamins, minerals, and most important is nutrition. Right. I try to walk 3 to 5 miles every day. I have a tendency to walk to the events. And that way, when you're getting there, you're super energized. And traveling from Texas Central Standard Time to get to Paris, to get to Brussels, to get to Ibiza, to get to Lisbon, it's all about managing your itineraries as well. So that if you're one that wants to be up after you travel, land in the morning, spend the day in that market during daylight hours, and just maybe go to bed early one night. The thing about this industry, I'll say, in the 11 years I've been in it, we host the most incredible parties and after hour events that you can go to a conference and effectively spend your entire time in the side events and never make the main event. I advocate that we as a community have family members that don't understand what we're doing. They don't understand what we may be deemed, in their words, you're crazy about. The reality is, this is our future in the worlds of economics and all data information. I had the privilege, I was on a call at 4:20 a.m. between Italy, China, let's see, the other guy was in Paris, and me here in Houston, Texas. In October, November, in December, in Puerto Rico, Harry Dent, the economist, Peter Schiff, the gold man, says we're going to see $670 trillion of assets coming onto the blockchain. Well, I can tell you, as the voice of experience and my actual involvement, we're involved with a group right now that's bringing $10 trillion worth of assets, in real world assets, to the blockchain. Either you're going to look back with a lethargy of regret that you didn't get involved in this, or you'll look back perhaps with a lethargy of regret that you didn't get in it further. I'm reminded you can only sit on one chair at a time, sell the rest. The future will give you the opportunity to live in a mansion. And all I can say is that I'm appreciative of the people in our community, and that we all have the same opportunities. God creates us equal with the right to be unequal, I'm reminded. And so those of us that will do the things that other people won't do, people will look back at us and call us lucky. And so, Dr. Adels, I tell you publicly, I'm lucky I met you. And thank you for all you do for us and the community. And I yield the floor.
Wow.
Now you see this. What Snack said is exactly why drives me around that, to see amazing people like Snacks in the field, creators. It just keeps you going, keeps you young, shows you there are opportunities that you can change your future and destiny. The past is written, the present is being written, but the future is still to be written, and it's in your hands.
Very inspiring. I appreciate you both for coming on today and giving your 2 cents. And even, I can't wait to dive in deeper into the specifics of the events, and maybe even get a little intro from both of you. But before we do, I definitely want to go over to Polycarp, say hello, and ask, were you in Nashville? And if so, for how long?
Hey everyone, great to be here. Hey Crypto Snacks, great to see you again. We met on the last day. And my team and we came out to Nashville with a group of 8 of us, and we rented a house and had side events all week. I can definitely agree with Crypto Snacks that if you go to these conferences, the real value is found in the side events. That's just been my personal experience. The conferences are great, but the real value is all these satellite events, and we had a whole bunch of them, one every single day at least, and we met incredible people and grew our network, and we were able to show everyone a little bit of what the future of the web and the future of Bitcoin looks like.
Wow. With what amazing speakers we have joined us today. I feel like a rookie now. I thought I know events and I do events, but you guys doing events every single day and traveling on top of that and keeping up your health and having meetings. I'm clearly still an amateur and have a lot to work on. So very inspiring to hear, and I look forward to hearing more about all your guys' events. But let's throw it over to Creatress. And let's see, I would love to get your initial thoughts on like Nashville itself. For me, it was my very first time, but I'd love to hear, Creatress, your very first thoughts on just Nashville in general. The people, the food, the weather, the vibes, anything you want to share.
Well, I had a good time. That's all I can really say. I had a good time. It was cooler than I thought. It was way more techy. Like, like was mentioned earlier, it seems like it's a city that's really transformed. And yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be so city, urban, modern, but that's great. I thought it was cool. Yeah, no, everybody was nice. Everyone I ran into. So the Nashville folks are cool. They're nice. I thought that was cool. Found a lot of good food. Surprisingly, they have some veggie options out there, which is always important for a pescatarian like me. And then yeah, the conference itself, the conference center was really is a nice conference center. Very modern, security was good, and yeah, I liked it. I thought it was cool. I didn't spend as much time as I would have liked at the actual conference. Um, but we all know it's all about the satellite events anyway. So yeah, who are we kidding?
I agree with you on Nashville, definitely. And of course, the side events, being the highlight, I think, for many. But I definitely want to share my 2 cents about Nashville because I think I had a lot of, um, impact from other people's opinions and thoughts on Nashville. I don't know. I just thought, oh, it's just very country and that's it. But no, I go to Nashville and the first thing I noticed is how polite and kind Nashville was. I'm from California, born and raised in LA, definitely used to people being rude, not wanting to help you out if you need something to help with. But everything from the locals to the Uber drivers, even to customer service, as an event organizer, you're probably ordering from local companies to get your banners, to get your signage. And when I was on the phone with them, they were super helpful and kind. What I learned is that in Nashville, a lot of the signage gets done in Memphis, and their turnaround times for these things can be a week. Usually, a lot of these companies I talked to said, "Oh, our turnaround time is in a week," and I needed it overnight. So the thing is that sure, any company could say, "Hey, sorry, we just we can't help you out because our turnaround time is 1 week." Instead, they said, hold on, let me get you a list of people that I can put you in contact with and see if I can help find you someone that can get you what you need. So I'm like, wow, that is next step customer service. Super helpful. And of course, shout out to Keegan down there, who is also my significant other, but also helped me find my last minute needs for signage. But that was just something that I definitely wanted to share because it was one of the most polite and kind and mindful uh locals that I've run into in the US. So shout out to the people out in Nashville. I wish you guys are an example of what I hope other cities and states follow. But yeah, I agree. The conference center was super nice as well. Security was top notch. Of course, we had, some politicians come and speak last minute. So there was Secret Service, high security. But everyone was super friendly and, just, hey, we need to check your tickets, your badges, your backpacks, and everything, right? So I super appreciated that. I felt very, very safe. And the people, the organizers, I couldn't believe how organized the actual Bitcoin organizing team was. As press, they were very, very communicative, giving us the schedule ahead of time. Here is where you go check in. Here is the rooms, you'll have access to. Here is, where you can go do your press interviews. And then here's your schedule, and constantly sending up updates, right? As Trump was going to speak on stage, they were giving us updates, on, if we could schedule an interview with Trump, what to bring, what's not allowed to bring. They ended up saying no bags at the end, no bag policy. But I was super impressed with the team, and I had some questions along the way, and I would email them, and within 6 hours they would respond back with an email with an answer. So super impressed on the organizing team, and yeah, shout out to them. But yeah, let's move on to maybe the actual conference itself, and then we'll get into some of the side events. But I'd love to hear from anyone on stage, and feel free anyone to unmute. But was there anyone that you went to go see to speak that you were really excited about, or any particular vendors and booths that you went to go see? I see Crypto Snacks with your hands up. Go ahead. You're muted still, Crypto Snacks.
Yeah, I hit the wrong button. Technology sometimes can be challenging for some of us. And I say that real clearly because what Polycarp commented, I want to amplify. And that's a simple concept that wealth lies within people. And if we'll build relationships with people, therein lies our opportunities. And while I've been in the industry 11 years, and so often those of us that have been in it for 11 years, you think it's a long time. None of us in this industry is any older than a teenager. We're all adolescents. It doesn't matter when you got involved. We are at the beginning of a major revolution and the evolution of this technical advancement. And so I encourage people when they tell me I can't afford to go to the conference, I want to encourage them. It's not the price of the ticket to the conference, it's the value of the relationships that you're going to build. And while you may not understand the fundamental technology, it's the problem that the technology is addressing. And so if you're an investor or you're trying to learn the underlying tech, if you have clarity on the problem, you can then learn what the tech is. But if you don't understand the problem that they're solving, it doesn't matter how novel the tech is. And many times we're being told about the technology, but yet we don't understand the fundamental problem. And so I encourage us all to walk the conference floors if you have the opportunity. And while they may try to sell you on their tech, to break it down to the very basic, and that's what problem are you addressing? And if we can understand the problems, which we should all be able to understand the basic problem, then we can see where the opportunity lies. And so I just encourage us as a community to embrace and be welcoming, just as you felt welcomed in the city of Nashville, that we are ambassadors to this industry and we should welcome everybody to the industry. When people tell me, I don't understand Bitcoin, I ask them, you have a watch. And all you really want to know is what time it is. You don't care how to build the watch. And we don't have to tell people the underlying tech if we'll just get back to the basics of what problem this tech is solving. And that's what I advocate from the stage so often as I travel the world and I speak to people, that it's not the tech, it's the problem that we're solving. And I like to yield the floor back to our host and co-host, please.
I love that. I am learning so much. And oftentimes I feel like I've kind of forgotten, right? I think sometimes, at least for me, I can get carried away. And when I'm speaking to someone who is maybe fresh and newer in the space, we can get carried away and dive right into the tech, right? Different layers that are involved, different chains that are involved, different protocols, all these different things, literally layers, as our show is. There's layers to this. There is layers to the tech, but I think that is such a great reminder, Crypto Snacks, about the real focus is about what is it solving? What is the problem that is being solved here? And I love that analogy that you use about the watch. People don't need to know about what the watch, how, how it was made or what's the tech, underlying tech, but people just want to know what time it is. What time is it? Someone tell me, what time is it? But I thank you so much, Crypto Snacks, for that reminder. Let's give it over to Adele. Would love to hear, your thoughts on the conference. Was there anyone super specific you were there to see, or any booths or anything you were there to talk with? How was the conference for you, Adele?
Well, the conference was spectacular for many reasons. One, of course, I'm an Nashvilleian, so to have Bitcoin conference in Nashville is amazing for me, and also for those that do not know, the Bitcoin magazine is actually out of Nashville. David Bailey and his crew are doing a great job with that. So it feels like, hey, the Bitcoin is coming back to Nashville. So that's amazing, and it's double amazing for me because my PhD originally was in trust networks. Trust networks became blockchain, and all hell broke loose. And I have been on a flight since like early days of Bitcoin and Ethereum, talking with projects, seeing different chains being born. Had meetings with private banks in Switzerland, and talks with governments, prime ministers around like how do you use this new technology. Even got the chance to talk at the European Parliament in person in Brussels before the pandemic. I failed miserably to convince them to hand over their 700 million euros innovation funds. Well, that's their loss. But anyway, so to see all of that while doing it, when I go back home and talk about blockchain and Bitcoin and this is the future, to them it sounded like, hey, what are you talking about? What is this magical, mystical, new environment that's happening? It's like you talking about what the internet gonna be, or like, hey, you're gonna all be shopping on Amazon back in '94. So to see it come in town and have all this media around it, it just feels good inside, and I'm able of looking people in the eyes like, hey, who's the crazy one now?
Exactly. What time is it, and who is the crazy one now?
That's right. That's right. And to your point, the other thing also that is really interesting is that this came at the presidential election time. So to see candidates coming in and talking pro crypto and talking about really unleashing the creativity, and I'm not talking about trading. I'm talking about the remarks specifically about getting innovation back in the U.S. and allowing innovators to actually create the future. Because see, if you don't create the technology of tomorrow, you're not going to be included, and we're going to lose the edge here on like how we can build the new technologies. So this was really, really great to see that kind of political involvement in the event, because we need the government to stop complaining about it and give us a clear regulatory framework so that we can build on solid ground, because we are here to build the future, y'all. We're not here to, trade tokens and all of the stuff.
I agree with you, Adele. I know there was some debate. I've heard talks from people. Was it a good thing we had, some of the politicians come in? And I agree with you, Adele. I think it's super important. I mean, hey, finally they come to us, right? A lot of the times it's us advocating to them. Finally, I feel like, oh, okay, they've realized we are to be taken seriously. That with people and with we can have the power, right? We are the majority, not the minority. And so it was really, really great to see them come to the conference and speak to us. And, whoever is advising them and letting them know, what needs to be changed, what needs to be happening, especially here in the US. I mean, I think they were very, very open to hearing, and some of them were saying some of the right things. So I am very, very excited for the future, and I'm sure this is going to help push any regulations or laws that need to be more clear for us. And we've been making some headway, right? What is considered a commodity or a security? So I think we're moving in the right direction. But at the end of the day, this tech, no matter what, is decentralized, right? And so it could be used by all people from all over the world. And so at the end of the day, we still are going to have that power in that. So I'm super, super excited for that. Would love to bring it over to Polly, but before I do, want to say hello to Paper. Welcome. How are you today?
Hello. I'm doing well.
Good to hear. I know Paper had a couple of events himself in Nashville, and so would definitely love to get some insight from him. But let's bring it over to Polycarp. Did you attend the conference? And if so, what was some of the most exciting things for you, or anything you'd like to share about any takeaways from the conference for you?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how the Bitcoin conference has changed over time. And this conference, the focus seemed to really be on mining. I remember in the first early conferences, there was maybe one mining booth, maybe two mining booths. Now half the conference floor, it seemed like, was full of mining equipment and vendors. And I also was really impressed to see the type of people that I saw at this Bitcoin conference. It wasn't just Bitcoiners. It seemed that everyone who wanted to learn about Bitcoin or be involved in Bitcoin had attended this conference this year. And I thought that that was really special because it looks to me like the network of Bitcoin is growing. And as Bitcoin is growing, we all know that the number goes up and it's proportionate to how big the network gets. And so we have a lot of growth. A lot of new people are being exposed to Bitcoin this time around because of the political pressure, because of just the number go up, right? Everyone's feeling inflation, and you can see how the inflation is affecting Bitcoin in real time. And so I thought there were a lot of interesting things about this conference that set it apart from the previous conferences. But the one thing that I felt that was different is there was a feeling of collaboration at this conference that I never felt at any of the others. It felt like we were all one big team and we were pushing Bitcoin forward. Everyone that I talked to was excited about the future of Bitcoin, and we had a real strong culture that I haven't felt before. And so I thought that was unique.
That is super exciting to hear from someone where, this was my first, time attending the Bitcoin conference. So it was for Creatrix as well. Many of us, it was, our first. And so it's really, really interesting to hear from others who have been attending this for years and have seen it evolve, and also the type of people that are coming. And so I did hear a lot of people who came where they were absolutely fresh and new. I felt like I heard from at least a handful, if not more, of people that they brought plus ones. And I was speaking to their plus ones, and they're like, yeah, I know nothing, but my friend got me a ticket, and so I'm here because of them. And so they understand, the simple concepts of, they're tired of way, our US dollar has been, and dealing with the frustrations of, our banks and the whole system. And so they can understand that and resonate with it and be more open to hearing, okay, well, how does Bitcoin solve for that, for those problems? And so that's really, really exciting to hear. That there's a sense of collaboration, and I did sense that as well, right? Even though this is my first time, I was like, wow, everyone seems to be kind of like on the same page, whether who you're voting for or not voting for, we all kind of understand the main message here and the ethos of what we're advocating for here. And it's really inspiring and really encouraging and just empowering as well. It's something that we need, and it's a positive message. And so thank you so much, Polly, for sharing that. Courageous, I'd love to open it up for you if you want to comment on anything you've heard from our speakers.
I don't even know where to start. There's been so much good stuff. I'm feeling more inspired than I was before we started the show. I don't know if anyone noticed. We won't get into this, but the market's been doing some things. And so I was like, this morning, I was just like, oh man, don't look at it. Don't even look at it. Don't even worry about it. But now I'm just like, oh, who cares? Like, we're here. It's not about the tech. It's about the problem the tech is solving. I think that was Crypto Snacks. No, I'm happy. I feel like this is good. This is a good direction. Sentiment's good. And I know there's so many more events already on the horizon. A base camp is happening right now. So like things are definitely not slowing down regardless of where the market is. And I think that's good. What else? I am so curious, and I don't want to shift the topic, but I do just want to hear like one quick takeaway if possible, because I also saw we also just got the swap up here, so I want to go to them as well. But was it Adele? You just went and did some crypto related thing in Paris at the Olympics. So I'm just curious, can you just give us like one little like, how was that? How did that even come about? Yeah, that's just one quick question I have.
Yeah, absolutely. So I speak a lot globally, and there are different groups that are trying to bring awareness to innovative technology, including crypto and AI. So in Paris, I was moderating a panel about industry innovation, which was hosted in a pristine old chapel just across the Seine from the Louvre. And earlier, I was participating in the World Tech Village, which was pitching a whole slew of projects, all technology projects from around the globe. That one was in front of the Basilica in Saint Denis. So the movement is global now. People are looking more seriously around blockchain, how it is implemented in conjunction with AI and others, because finally we see the potential, the power for it, and how it can grow faster and how it can change our life. And if you got like 30 seconds, I'll tell you a funny story.
Let's hear it. I want to have some laughs. That's what our show is about too, by the way. We're not just all serious here. Feel free throw in some jokes. Let's hear it.
So I flew out last day of the blockchain BTC here in Nashville. That was Saturday, and I had the delusions that I'll finish up and then immediately go home, sleep, and then hop on the flight. That absolutely did not happen. So like Snack said, I passed by a friend in an event, the DNA event, and then I ended up staying till like 2 a.m. because keep meeting amazing people, and then went home, barely had a shut eye, grabbed everything, went on the flight. And when you are traveling to Paris, you lose a day. So although the flight is like 8 hours, you end up there in the morning the next day. So I had like couple hours of sleep, head directly to refresh and go to the first event, and that's in Saint Denis. Saint Denis is a suburb of Paris. So I thought I would stay there for just, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, just to do your thing and then go. But so amazing people and lots of community interactions. I ended up staying for like 2 hours. And then I said, like, okay, surely I can hop in an Uber and go across the city because it's only half an hour in an Uber. However, they closed down the traffic for the security purposes. So Uber reports were like an hour, hour and a half. So now with no Uber, nowhere to go, I had a friend with me, and he said like, "How about biking?" And I'm an avid cyclist, so we started going around, found a bike station, downloaded the apps, rented 2 bikes, and now I want you to imagine the middle of Paris from one side to the other on a bike in full suit, just like hauling my behind over, and people are calling and like, where are you, where are you? And then it ended up just crashing in front of the venue, and then running upstairs, and they said, you're just in time, everybody got delayed, so you are good. So without any food, just running on adrenaline and all of that trip, I needless to tell you, the panel was just explosive.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is hilarious because like I feel like a few other people here on stage, maybe, and some people listening have been on panels or had to moderate or had to give a speech, and like just the whole rush to get there, and then like one thing after another happens. I'm like, oh, I can totally relate. This is hilarious. And then the fact that I'm sure you got there and no one would have ever known that you went through all that because the panel was so good. Like, that's classic. That is classic, my friend. I want to say I saw a tweet about Vitalik also showing up, like just this week. He showed up to an event drenched, like completely soaked from head to toe because it was so rainy. And he like just as soon as he got there, he walked on stage right and gave the speech, like soaked, did not even change his shirt or anything. And it's just like bullish. That's all I gotta say.
That is funny. I did see that. I think he took the subway, and walked himself to the conference, to the panel he was speaking at, and that's hilarious. But oh my God, thanks. I was trying to visualize you, Adele, even with the laser eyes or glowing eyes. I was like, oh, he was on it with the, just on his bike in his suit, and that's pretty awesome.
BTC emergency, get out of the road. So
exactly. Oh my God. Thank you so much. That's a great story. And yes, I think a lot of us can relate to that in different ways. But I want to give it over to Crypto Rid. Maybe he has a comment directly to that. Go ahead, Crypto.
How are you guys doing? It's Crypto Rider, but are you telling me, Dr. Adele, that this was all Rock's fault because you came in and brought his bag to the DNA house?
no comment.
That is, I'm gonna have to tell him this story because that is crazy. You really biked all the way there. That's I'm so sorry. That's funny.
100%. It was super funny. And that just to tell you, like, hey, in this community, the amount of innovation and the people that are there are real, genuine people. Like, we are all just normal, trying to do all of the stuff. So my takeaway is, if you are listening this moment right now and thinking about it, don't think, just go do it. You don't need $1 million to get into the field. You don't need $1,000 to get in the field. You just need your brain and an internet connection. And this community is one of the best on the planet. We all take care of each other. Blockchain is about community.
Let's go. I love that messaging. Let's bring it over to Paper Buddha. I think you're next. I want to say hello. And yeah, did you get to go to the conference? And actually, how long were you in Nashville? Or are you still there? Some people are still there.
Are you still there? Is a really good question. I have been known to stay weeks after a conference somewhere. But no, I was there from the 23rd to the 30th and had a great time. Got to go to the conference on Industry Day, so that was excellent. Not really the crowds weren't too heavy. Got a chance to really kind of see everything, take it all in, and then really focus on networking and kind of after events after that. Obviously, got to see you guys. Posted Creatress dealing some vibes in the little thread there in the little purple chat. So that was really awesome. Got to see MVD and Naomi and everybody in that show. And then, yeah, went to quite a few other, like Pizza Dow event was great. Going over to the Ord complex quite a few times was really great. For those that stayed after, our Bunsen Brunch event was a smash hit. So just overall, the events were great. The vibes were high. Definitely felt that sense of community that everybody's talked about. Um, it felt, yeah, it felt very cohesive that we were all marching forward. One thing I was really impressed about, two things I was really impressed about. First of all, the way that the conference and the city of Nashville handled having all of those political folks come in and do their speeches, right? Security wise, moving them in and out of the city. Nothing really got shut down. Nothing was really too disrupted. Even within the conference, there was just kind of areas that were quarantined, if you will. So, big props to the conference for handling that like a champ. Not a lot of other cities can do that. Not a lot of other cities can host all these politicians coming in without complete gridlock in their city. So, obviously, Nashville's made to party, bringing me to my second thing. Nashville, what a fucking vibe. Holy shit. I had this preconceived notion of Nashville that was doing it no justice. We got there and it is absolutely the Las Vegas of the South. It's like where every single cowboy wants to dress up to go, like dress up in the nines, go get rowdy, go to the honky tonk. I found myself on Broadway a few times, and I actually had to stop and take video because there were so many people that it made New York nightlife look absolutely silly and completely benign. I was like, wow, dude, there's so many people here, and it's just 30 seconds of people, like a sea, an ocean of heads just bobbing around. So if you're like claustrophobic, probably not go down on the Broadway because that was a lot of people on a Tuesday night. I showed my barber just a minute ago. He's like, "Yo, check this video out," and he's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Bro, this is a Tuesday." So Nashville is lit, and it is to the music world what LA is to the acting world. So you have so much great musical talent just everywhere in Nashville. All the clubs that I went to, all the venues just had amazing talent through and through. Whether it was stage designers, sound designers, the lighting, the acts themselves, just all the way through, top notch. Really great experience. Highly recommend Nashville.
Great recap and summary. I love that. That is so true. It definitely is uh like a Vegas for sure. And I did hit up Broadway for a moment. I was looking for maybe purchasing some cowboy boots and hats. And man, that was a whole journey too that I got to speak to some of the salespeople, and didn't I learned a whole history about cowboy hats and the different types. And I won't bore you with all those details, but they take their Western fashion seriously. Like
We
they
should
are
talk
in it.
about it. Let's talk about
Yeah,
it. I got a cowboy hat too, and I got all learned up on the etiquette.
very cool. Yeah. So, yeah, of course, you'll see some of the men and women wearing their hats and boots. And I was looking for a hat. And there's kind of, I mean, the guy I was speaking to, he's like, I can go really in depth into this, but I'll give you guys just kind of an overview. There's kind of two types, if you will, and anyone speak up. Sorry, I'm just repeating what I remember. So if anything is wrong, please excuse me, please correct me. But there's kind of like two types between like a velvet and straw. Velvet is the kind you're gonna want to wear, during the winter seasons, and then straw, of course, is during the summer. So I was actually looking at a velvet one and thinking, this looks cute. And he's like, well, you're kind of going to look ridiculous if you buy that and start wearing it, because this is not the season for it. You will be sweating under that thing. And I didn't even, I didn't take that into consideration. I was just like, this looks cute. But yeah, I don't want to be melting my face off because it's velvet. So he was pointing me towards the straw hats.
Yeah, they're felt. They're made out of felt, those ones.
Oh,
Those
felt,
are kind of
yes.
dressier ones. And then the summer straw, definitely when it's above 100 degrees. Otherwise your brain is going to like bake under there.
Yeah, so me not just looking at what's aesthetically cute, not considering maybe this is more for the winter season. So that was one thing. Second thing was how tall the hat itself is. And I don't know what that part of the hat is called, but the top, right? Some of them are shorter, some of them are taller. And he was explaining to me that the taller ones are kind of made for the cowboys who go bull riding, who do the rodeos. And the taller ones are so that they can squish their hat onto their head to prevent the hat from falling off while they're riding the bull. So I didn't even realize that. I noticed, I was like, oh yeah, some are a little taller, higher, at the top than the others. And he explained, yeah, they are, because some of these cowboys like to like squash them on their head, pull them down as tight as they can to keep their hat on while they're bull riding. What else? I think that was pretty much it. And you got the different types of like shapes, and he was explaining that you can steam them and to shape them, and also the different levels of what they're made out of. What was he saying? Oh my gosh, was he saying? I forget which animals, but there was different type of animal furs actually that they use for the hats.
Like beaver. Yeah.
Yeah, beaver. There we go. Beaver, and that they're water repellent, right? So if you wear them, if you're a farmer and you're working out, working harvesting, it's very helpful for the farmers to keep their heads dry, because beaver fur is repellent against the water. So that was really, really interesting, and learning about the different type of hats. And boy, I mean, I think he could have given me a lot more information. And I was like, wow, I'm sure he could have given me a whole lesson on the boots as well. A lot of the boots come from Mexico. They're made in Mexico. So that was really interesting to see. You look at them and they're not really from China. They're from Mexico. So, I know we do got our ranchers out there as well who are representing. So really, really cool to see the blend of these cultures and the history, and learn about the fashion. I've never really understood. And now I'm getting it. I'm understanding a lot more about the music, about the fashion, about the food, the culture, all of it, right? And it was so educating for me. But would love to bring it over to the swap, say hello. I know the swap was out there as media. I saw him with some really great cameras doing some interviews. So would love to say hello. And please tell us, how long were you in Nashville? Maybe you're still there. And what were some of the takeaways for you?
Yeah, no, thank you, Val, and thank you, Creatress, for having me up. We were in Nashville from Wednesday night to Sunday morning. And as far as like the comparison from like Bitcoin Miami to Bitcoin Nashville, there was a lot more people. It was just clear as day, obviously, with the presidential candidate RFK and President Trump and all that going on. Like there was just a rowdy, rowdy good time in Nashville. Vibes were much higher than the year before. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, in Bitcoin Miami, if I'm not mistaken, Bitcoin was around like 25, 30,000, somewhere in there. And obviously everything's like much different now with the market being up. So people were having a good time. Got out to your event for Vibe for Satoshi Social, which we had a great time. We were on the go with equipment, so I didn't get to stay as long as I would have liked, but definitely had a great time at your event, and it was definitely something that everyone was talking about for sure when we met up at other spots and stuff too. So, but I would just say overall, like the conference, um, like everyone was glued. Like there wasn't as many like mining companies as there was the year before. Like there was more people actually building like stuff on Bitcoin instead of just having like mining equipment for sale. Like of course there was like Mara and Riot and all that. But there's a lot of talk with like L2s around Bitcoin, which was interesting to see. So yeah, definitely excited to see like what's to come next with runes and all the interesting like ordinals communities and stuff on Bitcoin. I kind of have always been appreciative of the arts and stuff, and that's where we met within the Oni ecosystem. So it's cool to kind of see more and more communities kind of get out to these conferences and start marketing and really getting more exposure. So yeah, I would just say like overall, like Nashville, super friendly place. I think it was I forget who mentioned it, but someone mentioned that they did really well with the presidential candidates coming in, being able to handle that. It was still like relatively quick to get into the conference. I didn't go in the morning, but like, well, I shouldn't say I wasn't there at opening. Like there wasn't like a super big line or stuff. It was pretty casual to get in, and we had our media equipment and stuff. So to be able to get in and out within a few minutes was nice. And like just the ability for them to handle like 26,000 plus people at that capacity was pretty cool too. So, but yeah, what was your favorite part, Val, of the event?
Oh, my favorite part. Oh, that's a great question because I feel like I was all over in the conference. Uh, I without getting too deep in the politics, to be honest, my favorite part was seeing Trump's speech. I'll just say it, as someone who was there as press, and my job is to report, on all sides, regardless of my own political beliefs and all that. I was really curious to see how he would present himself. What was he going to say? Was he going to move the crowd? So to be honest, I have to give that man credit, whoever is advising him, or, if he is doing his own research and diving in, he definitely got the crowd going, saying certain things. And so that was really impressive. I had never really seen um, something like that in person before, and especially something that, I'm really heavily involved in and interested in, and something that I think is super important for the globe, for the world, right? I just was really impressed. And so also, Kennedy there as well. And so that was really, really interesting for me, right? I've been to conferences, and of course, you have the booths and the vendors, people who are building, like you said, the L2s. And, of course, that is also inspiring. But just to kind of see the government there, right? And what their take is. And of course, you have to sometimes take it with a grain of salt because, during election time and they're campaigning, they do want to say all the right things, right, to and get our votes. But yeah, it was really quite interesting. And it also got my family to watch, my family who has kind of known that I'm in the space but never really had asked questions too much. And my aunt just bought her first, fraction of a Bitcoin this past April. And, she had said, hey, I'm ready to start diving into this because, how am I going to start saving if they're going to take away my social security as I get older and this and that, how are some other ways that I can start investing, in myself and as she gets older. And so that was her motivation But to see my other family members, my extended family members saying, hey, I'm tuning into your live stream. I was there live streaming, and they were generally impressed and now more open. So that was probably my favorite part of the actual conference, to be honest, because that hit home literally for me. It was reaching my family, so that's super exciting, because obviously I want them to understand the power that they can have by owning crypto, and being on this decentralized network. So yeah, thank you for asking. I'd love to bring it over to Mike Nash. Say hello. I know the conference was in your hometown, so would love to hear, how did that feel? Did you realize the amount of people that would be coming? Did you get a sense leading up to the conference? Would love to hear your perspective on everything. So hi, Mike, how are you?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
It's going good.
Hell yeah.
Bam.
Yo, man, I am pleasantly surprised and super happy about how everything turned out in Nashville. At first, I'm trying to think. We were in Denver and then in Austin, and I was still a little bit apprehensive. I know, Nashville's tried to do a couple crypto things before, and they didn't really go over as best as they could, and I was just worried about my hometown being able to receive this whole scene. And when I was in Nashville, and I guess late June and through July, and to see the city start to come together they already had started putting murals up and billboards and signs up and down the streets, and promoting, and then with all these, big talking heads, joining in the festivities. um, it turned out better than I could have imagined, and it's made me super stoked about Nashville's role in crypto, um, moving forward. I mean, I've always loved Nashville. It's my town. It's awesome. It's rad. It's a great place to be. I mean, with that relatively new convention center, it's just a super cool place to have a convention. I mean, it's not like ballrooms in a hotel. I mean, it's world class. And to be able to host this kind of event with this industry, it just felt right, and it worked well. So yeah, I'm super stoked about it. I'm super happy about it, how everything turned out. There weren't a lot of bottlenecks or hangups. Everything went relatively smoothly, and it seemed like the town was really receptive. I mean, everybody was, stoked that we were all there, and were interested, and wanted to know more. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of onboarding opportunities, and Nashville becoming more crypto native is really exciting for me. So yeah, I'm happy I'm really happy to have my hometown been a host for all this, and I'm so glad all you guys came out, and it's just really rad. I was able to make some world class connections and hang out with friends. The art part of it was really refreshing and surprising. I mean, some other events like ETH Denver, and Consensus, um, were a little bit less art heavy and a little bit more layer two, like kind of white collar-y type stuff. But the art scene showed up and showed out, and did a really good job. It was top notch. So to see all my creative homies being well received and accepted and celebrated was just amazing. I mean, I'm ear to ear smiles.
Oh, there we go.
Mike, this was your party. Basically, we all came to visit you. I know you. I know you feel that way. I can hear it in your voice. I can tell you're smiling because everybody just went to visit, and I'd be too. So on that note, I'm putting it out to the universe. Let's do some San Diego conference sometime in the future. Anyway, we're not gonna get into that. But Mike, yeah, it was really cool to see you out there and hang out for a little bit. Not quite as much as I would have hoped, but I'll take what I can get. It's all good.
I love hearing the excitement in your voice, Mike. I know Mike, is an artist here for those who don't know, very, very talented. And I was super stoked to be able to hire him for the Pizza DAO. He got to showcase his art and make the flyer for the Pizza DAO event. And so, yeah, definitely Mike Nash, definitely follow Adele and Crypto Snacks here. They were part of the event as well. Adele is also local to Nashville like you. So definitely you guys should link up, definitely, if you're not following each other already. But speaking of the Pizza DAO, I do want to bring it over to Adele because he's got an announcement about what we had released. So go ahead, Adele.
So mentioning artwork, so that same flyer has been converted into Adobe, if I may so myself, NFT, free drop, and all you need is an email. So it has been minting. There are few left. So I will post the link for it. It shows up Bit Angels and Pizza DAO and commemorates the entire Nashville event. So if y'all into collecting NFTs, especially the free ones, you heard it here first. Don't come complaining if it is all minted out.
Don't come complaining, he said. So get it now. So yes, definitely post it in the comments. If you want, you can also pin it up top. Feel free to do that. Crypto Snacks, go ahead.
Well, first thing I want to say is, Dr. Adele, I want one of those. Mike, damn, dude, you're fucking awesome. I don't normally share my sentiment in that way publicly, but man, I love your artwork and thank you for the pizza angel with wings. I want to share also, we've talked about a lot of subject matters, and I'm going to have to bounce here in a few minutes. So I just wanted to share with those of you that commented about the industrial nature of the show. And you talk about the price of Bitcoin. I'm reminded that when you want to buy your groceries, you buy them when they're on sale. When Bitcoin goes on sale and you got a 5% discount, now is the time not to shut your eyes, but now is the time to be buying. And the premises of dollar cost averaging is very apparent, that you can buy it when it's up, you buy it when it's down, you make a commitment to what your budget is, to your investment strategy for you to basically stack sats and grow your Bitcoin stash. And in light of discussing what we saw at the show this year, we have a market cap sitting right now at $2.2 trillion. When you're breaking in this $1 trillion market segment, you're going to bring the institutional investor, you're bringing the industrial investor. And those are the people that are buying that equipment that you're seeing displayed at these shows. But for me, what I find most interesting is the evolution of the storage devices and the technology that ensures the ability to have a strategy for transferring your underlying asset without losing it. While we think about not your keys, not your coins, I think we also have to think about custody, chain of custody, and how you will transfer these assets. And to me, the most intriguing things that I saw were some of the multi-sig strategies with a custodian. So for myself, I have 3 kids. I want to give my kids some of my stash. I die with my keys. My crypto wealth is gone. When you can use some of these pieces of tech where you have a custodian key, I could issue 3 keys to the kids now. I have a key. It takes 3 of 5 keys to move the assets. It's built in with some kind of a data set that's looking for a death certificate. And when that death certificate kicks in, then those keys are then effective. And so we have to think about legacies and the transfer of the wealth and the transfer of these assets. And you can collect a hell of a collection of T-shirts and baseball caps and all kinds of cool shit that you get to take home, and you can give those to your friends and your family member, and they're like, what is this Unchained? What is this? Not your keys, not your coins. And that is the impetus to the conversation that we get to proverbially orange peel people with when they're asking questions about why is Franklin Templeton giving away these cool koozies, these cool Yetis, and other companies that are giving stuff away, and you just go around with a stash bag and just collect 3 or 4 of everybody's everything, which I hate doing it because I hate having to bring it back. But I have found over the years those are the things that get your friends and your business associates and other people that you're friendly with more interested in what we're doing. And we, as a community, have a fiduciary responsibility to help our friends and family, because remember, if you don't help them help themselves, at some point in the future, they're going to be coming to you asking for you to help them. While right now we have a chance to educate them on how they can help themselves. And so I want to tell you, our host and our co-host, Valeria, everybody else on this call, I really appreciate you guys making it an effort, because I know it takes time and effort to put these groups together, get these conversations going. And it's these conversations compounded around the world that has taken the $1 billion, the couple $100 million enterprise that I got into 11 years ago to $2.2 trillion today. And don't be afraid the fact that crypto's down 5% today, or 4.4% total. Intel is down 26% today. So we've got a hell of a deal. We're only off in the current market 4.4%. So I want to wish everybody a beautiful Friday. It's the beginning of the Sabbath. If you celebrate Shabbat, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom. Have a great weekend. And I yield the floor to you all. And each and every one of you are a speaker, regardless if you're designated as a speaker here or not. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye now.
Man, Crypto Snacks with the mic drop. He's like, bye now. Crypto is on sale. Bitcoin is on sale. Man, that was so good. We've got about 30 more minutes to our show, so we haven't even dived into our side events yet. We're just hearing some knowledge, talking about the actual conference and the vibes of the city. Everything is feeling good. Let's continue that. And I would love to hear real quick about those who went to the Ordinal conference, right? Because that was a 1-day conference right before the actual Nashville Bitcoin conference. So I think Paper, you were there, Creators, and anyone else, feel free to go ahead and unmic and tell us, what were people feeling? Were they bullish on runes? Were they bullish on ordinals? What are people's thoughts? What were you feeling about it?
Yeah, I was tuned into the runes talk specifically. You guys know I do a lot of shitcoin trading and a lot of degen stuff. And the overall sentiment was people were very bullish on the accumulation phase of runes right now, knowing that the tooling isn't quite there for mass adoption, or really to even start winning over people that are doing it on other chains. And everyone was really okay with that. Everybody was very okay with taking the time to get the tooling right, and just accumulating the top runes between now and then, and kind of being like, shh, don't tell anybody. And everyone was really happy to just kind of keep accumulating. So I felt, I thought that was really funny, and that's totally how I feel about it as well. And then obviously, it was amazing to see all of the ordinals projects coming in hot, coming in strong. Lots of different communities were organizing events, and I love to see it. Like, I was surprised. I think I said this to Seth. I was like, bro, there are a lot more fucking art people involved in ordinals than I thought. Just because I'm here in my own little corner of the world, and I hadn't been exposed to everybody all at once. And seeing everybody all at once and seeing all of these different projects coming out, man, it was really inspiring.
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool. I love that to see everyone at once, everyone super into the art. That's good to know. And hey, we've got almost 130 people watching live on our live stream. So hey, don't tell anyone, but people are accumulating their runes. Creatress, did you attended, right? The Ordinal conference. How was that for you?
Oh, you know what? When you were talking about the Ordinal conference, I thought you were talking about the Bitcoin conference. I was like, yeah, obviously we were there. What are you talking? But now I see what you're talking about. Okay, you're talking about that 1 day conference that happened on the 24th. Yes. Okay, I did go to that. I wasn't initially planning on it, but I did find myself there. And it was cool. It was cool. Yeah, I watched a talk with Jack Butcher and Violetta Zeroni and Jen Stein. I'm trying to remember who else I saw speaking. But yeah, I enjoyed the few panels that I listened to, and the shout out to the organizers. That was Arthur and Ala from Nolcha, who I got to see there. So that was really cool. They always throw a really good event. And so, yeah, I thought the Ordinals conference was good. They were talking about Ordinals. They were talking about what's going to happen with Hollywood. They were talking about just all the things that we're wondering about. And let's see, what else? What else? They had an after party that night as well, which I think is where we all got to hang out. Mike, and I saw Seth and Paper. Who else was there? Yeah, we kind of felt like there was a little bit of a reunion there at the nighttime event for the Ordinals thing. So that was really cool. They opened up like the whole other side of the venue for that nighttime event. So I thought that was cool. And I got to give them props for having couches. I thought the couches and the different lounge areas were really nice touch. And that's not to say that's all they had, because they also had a lit dance, like dance area where people were really getting down. So I like having both in the same venue. Take notes for people for future, because I think that's the perfect kind of situation where you can walk to one room and get lit and dance, and then you can go to another room and sit down and chill and smoke and talk with your friends without dealing with like loud music. So yeah, Inscription's conference was good. It was good. I'd go again, but I'd like to perform there if I go again. Just
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they had the venue was Voo Nashville, and that's normally used as a filming studio. That they got this huge long screen, and I'm sure that looks pretty juicy to you, creators, since you project using your VR headset and do some live art. So I'm pretty sure that looks pretty enticing to you. So hey, if anyone's listening from the Ord conference team, get Creatress now. Get her to perform. That's something cool to watch if you've never seen her do it. But hey, speaking of her performance, I actually did have her perform. Let's get into some of the side events now. So I'll start with myself. I held my first Bitcoin side event, and it was Satoshi Social. Now, listen, the capacity of my venue was 300, right? And I was thinking, well, geez, I just hope I get to that 300. Who's gonna know me? Who's gonna want to come out to this? Guess what? 800 plus RSVPs on on the event. I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is wild. So many people to connect with. I got some really, really amazing feedback. I had my event posted on Luma. I've been really enjoying Luma, by the way. If anyone's looking to, organize an event, I do recommend Luma. You can collect wallet addresses. You can do questionnaires. You can do a lot of things. Really, really cool platform. But I had opened up the chat when I created it, and I was hoping people would network and connect before everyone heads to Nashville. and people were doing just that. So I got a lot of great feedback about, hey, if you have an event you posted on Luma, open up those chats because people are looking to connect even before they get, they land into the town. So the event was super, super great. And it was, it was everything that I had hoped for. I had it between
Val, like, I'm sorry, I gotta cut you off. You keep putting your hand over the speaker, so sometimes we hear you loud, sometimes we don't. So
weird. I'm not putting my hands anywhere. Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
she said.
Well,
anyway, sorry, go on.
okay. All right. Is it okay now? I'm like, my hand
Yeah.
is gone. Okay. All right. Thank you. I thought you were just waving hi to me on the live stream. You're like, hi. I'm like, yes, hi. But okay, so I was really happy about the event. Everything was really smooth. Thank goodness to the AC. It was at a lounge called Vibes Bar and Lounge, and talking about sofas and seating. We had nothing but that, and people were able to relax. We had food coming every few minutes. People got to have free drinks. So shout out to our sponsors who helped us bring this great event. So shout out to Umoja, Mutant Hounds Inscriptions. Oh, so sorry if I'm like Spirit Punks, who provided our alcohol. And thank you so much to our featured artists. I know Paper Buddha was in there, Courageous was in there. And so also thank you to Bobby, who sponsored with his coffee, his upcoming coffee brand he's about to release. And of course, thank you to Skip's Deli, who provided all your goods. But yeah, it was a great event. People were just coming in, having a drink, networking, and then on to their next. So that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to compete with any of the rager parties. I just wanted people to come in, break the ice, and hey, let's meet, say hello, let's connect, and keep the conversations going. So it was a great success. And thank you so much, of course, to Creatress, who was one of the co-hosts with me of the party. And of course, shout out to Profits Over Wages, who was one of the other hosts of the event with me. Definitely, it was super empowering for us as three Latina females to be hosting an event, and coming with our presence and having representation is super important for us. And so thank you to everyone who supported, whether or not you could have made it. Thank you for everyone who either shared the event out, shared it to their friends, or just simply RSVP to show your support. So thank you so much, but would love to open the floor for anyone else to share about their side event. We only have 20 more minutes, and I know many of you guys did your own events, so feel free to run through it as much as you can, and give us some of the takeaways from your events.
Yeah, we had a number of side events during Nashville, and our goal was to raise awareness about Web 5, which not very many people know about yet. It's very new. Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, announced it in 2022. And we've been building in the Web 5 space. And what Web 5 is the internet built on top of Bitcoin. And so we've been showing people all week how we can take our data and keep it from big tech, package it, edit it, and then sell it on an open marketplace that is powered by Bitcoin. And we had an incredible activation. Lots of people walked away with prizes, a new understanding of how Bitcoin, the network, works. Almost everyone has used Bitcoin, the money, but very few people have actually become aware of Bitcoin, the network. And so as far as us creating new relationships and bringing awareness to Bitcoin, the network, our side events were incredible. And we really enjoyed having everyone there. We had some sponsors, Indra's a Warehouse, and Satoshio's cereal. Shout out to onboarding next billion users with a cereal brand that is dedicated to the founder of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. So yeah, we had a really great time with our friends putting on these events and teaching people about the future of Bitcoin.
That is cool. All right. Got to dive into that. That's always some more research for me to do. Look up the Bitcoin network and internet built on top of Bitcoin. So sounds really great. You said, so how many events total did you do?
We did 20 events. We had an event at noon, 3, 6, and 9 every single day.
Wow.
So basically, y'all went really hard. And how are you? How are you, Polly? Are you okay?
I am fantastic. It's honestly an honor to be working in this space. And like Crypto Snacks was talking about earlier, it really doesn't matter when you get in, but if you're in right now, you are on the cutting edge of tech. So it's pretty incredible to be here and to have been at Nashville, especially when the political landscape is starting to join the community. It's yeah, I'm fantastic. I can't could not be any happier.
Love it, love it. I'm happy to hear that that you're not tired, because I saw a few event organizers on the timeline who are not doing so hot after Nashville week. It seems like some people might have gone a little too hard, but that's okay sometimes. I'm happy to hear you're doing good though. And oh my gosh, we just got Denichi up here. I've been wanting to give her a shout out. She wasn't at Nashville, but I'm sure she's been enjoying listening to all the stories. And yeah, I don't know, Paul, is there any events coming up that you want to share before we go on to the next? Okay. Well, we're gonna have to go to Danny then. Denichi, thanks for coming up. How are you, darling?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Just finally kind of recovered now from all the travel, and feeling like myself. But yeah, I'm excited to hear you. You were absolutely missed in Nashville. How are you?
Pretty good. Hi everyone. Hey Paper, Mike, Seth, Valerie, Adele, Polly. I'm doing really good. I wasn't in Nashville, but Ada came back with like a lot of stories telling me about what happened in Nashville, but then also hearing everyone's stories on here. It feels like full circle. So I wasn't there, but I was technically there in a way. Now I feel.
You were there in spirit for sure, for sure. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know when we're gonna see you next in person, but I am excited about our collabs that we're slowly but surely working on. So yeah, thank you for joining us for the little recap.
Oh, yes, I saw that you were hosting your space, and I was like, oh, I need to hop on. And I'm really glad I did. I really enjoyed hearing everyone's like take and their stories, and really cool how, it was in Nashville, Mike's hometown. And you will definitely be seeing me in Basel, in Miami in December, maybe for Pepe Fest. I just found out it's next week, so we're gonna see what we can pull together. It's also because my son starts school the following week, so we'll see how we make things work.
Well, fingers crossed that you can make it out there. I know it's looking like it's gonna be a fun event. I'm right there with you. School is starting, so it's not even on my radar at this point. But same with VCon. It's just like, y'all, it's August. Things are happening. The kids gotta go back to school. So I feel you. I feel you, Danny. But for sure, Basel is definitely on my it's on my calendar. So if not this, Basel for sure.
Yes, and I look forward to seeing everyone there. And yeah, very excited about our collab and the things that we're going to be working on together.
Future's looking bright. Everybody stay tuned.
Oh, collab. Okay. I just followed you, Denichi. So nice to hear you and hopefully get to meet you IRL. I am planning to go to Art Basel, so looking to see what you whip up. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we move on to the next speaker?
Just thank you for having me. Great space. Love you guys, and bye.
Love you. See you soon. I do want to share one little tiny bit of news that I got while I was in Nashville that I don't think I've shared publicly, but um, just reminded me because Danichi and I were talking about this earlier. My friend Vero is actually working on a documentary about my art career that I have already shared publicly, but the change is that it's going from a 10-minute to a full length documentary. So that's pretty exciting. And I know she's working on a documentary right now that she's looking for music for. And so that's what Danny and I were talking about earlier today. Also, Mike Nash, I know you're into music. So if that sounds interesting to you at all, I know she is looking for music for the doc that she's working on currently. I think it's actually done. It's the editing portion now. But yeah, I'm super excited. I don't have a specific timeline for that yet. But yeah, I'm really excited. It's a fun idea, and just yeah, we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned. Like I said, stay tuned.
Exciting. Looking forward to that. And I did see some behind the scenes when we were in New York for NFT NYC. She's interviewing you, getting some footage of you on the New York balcony, very, very awesome. Definitely want to get a vote over to Adele. Feel free to share any of the events that you are putting on. I know you've put on quite a lot yourself. And of course, we work together on the Pizza Dow event. So feel free to share anything that you'd like. We have about 10 minutes left.
Are you sure you want me to do that?
Bring summer as much as you can. Think of yourself on the bike and the business coach just rushing through to get there.
All right. So upcoming next is actually an event by the Government Blockchain Association. I don't know how many of y'all know about it. It's an organization in Washington, D.C. with a mission to bridge the gap between blockchain and the government. And we're hosting an event in DC in a mansion on the 16th. And the beauty of what the GBA does is that it actually connects and promotes awareness to a lot of politicians and regulators. So in the last event that I was speaking at, we had senators, we had representatives, and they all were there to understand. So they foster this atmosphere of how to understand this new technology, because man is enemy of what they don't know. So the more that they know about it, the better collaboration we're going to have. And this specific event is designed for government buyers, so that they would see different types of technology solutions for blockchain. So I would highly, highly recommend if you are in DC or around DC to come see the other side of different events. I'll be there, so you can connect with me. And then we have a whole plethora of stuff, keyed up. Some events are going to be here in Nashville, but there is an event in Geneva afterwards, and then there will be an event in Singapore. And I may be speaking at the United Nations event in Riyadh. And that's all that I know of right now. However, stay tuned because I'm always in Davos in January.
I love it. Adele, my goodness. This man does not stop. He has no breaks. He is full steam ahead. I love it. And yeah, so great to do an event with you out in Nashville. Pizza Dad was really a pleasure to work with everyone from you to, Sheldon and Dora and of course Snacks and all the team. It was really quite wonderful to be able to communicate and get everything together remotely, right? We're all in different parts of the world, and yet we still can organize something awesome for the people. And so, yeah, I look forward to hanging out with you more, getting to know you more, and look forward to following the journey with you on Twitter. So thank you so much for coming today and being one of our speakers, and sharing some funny stories and some good insights on everything. So thank you so much, Adele. Let's pass it over to Paper. I know Paper held some events for the community as well, and Mike Nash was there. So go ahead, Paper and Mike. We've got a few minutes left.
Yeah, thanks for giving us space. We held the Blunts and Brunch event, which we do for the temple, my community of collectors and friends. We've been doing that for 3 or 4 years now. So yeah, we had a couple of sponsors. Solana, Bonk, and Codex were sponsors of ours this time around. And usually we hold our event the day after the conference. It's really designed for the folks who stay behind a day. Usually those are the people that are in charge, decision makers. They sent their teams home, broken down their booth, and usually they're staying in town to relax for a day or two. So we started hosting our brunches the day after, and we had a great turnout. I have a very diverse community, so a little bit of people from all different communities all over the Bitcoin space coming together. Not just Bitcoin, but other blockchains as well. And there's always a healthy mix of locals there. So I'd say we had around 40% Nashville local, 60% crypto people. So quite a bit of onboarding, a lot of cross pollination, met a lot of new friends. So yeah, it was a very successful event. Um, the next stop in the temple tour, Mike and I and a lot of the temple members are going to be out at Beeple Studios in South Carolina, and geez, it's like 7 days in a week. And then we'll be Marfa, Texas. Then we'll be Art Basel, Miami. So kind of a few more stops on the tour for this year.
Let's go. I had a chance to go to the Blunts and Brunch. It was my very first. I had missed a couple, but it was so nice to be able to relax and just kind of really just kind of take it in and have gratitude for, all the connections and all the success and people that I've met. And it was just really a nice, wholesome space. And of course, thank you so much, Paper, for providing that space for the community. It was pretty awesome. We've got some 5 minutes left, so Mike, I'd leave it over to you if you want to share anything else you would like with us.
Hey, gosh, yeah, the Blunts and Brunch is always really fun. Uh, and at Nashville, it ended up everything works. It's crazy with these events with the temple. Everything just seems to kind of work out the way it was supposed to work out, and it just blows my mind every time. It was really rad. The different people that came through, the atmosphere was that of kind of recharging, regrouping. It was refreshing. I was able to kind of really like talk to some of the people that I'd met throughout the week. That maybe the music was a little loud and we couldn't talk over what else was going on, and really get to solidify some relationships and some connections. It was super rad. All the kind of satellite ancillary events were rad. I mean, there was always something cool going down at the Ord House. There were so many different little places to pop in, and opportunities to get together and kind of get like a little bit more intimate setting with people. It was great. Again, I'll just reiterate how excited I am that Nashville was kind of showed up and showed out for us in our industry. And I mean, as far as like driving around the U.S. goes, you can get to almost like 80% of the U.S. within a day from Nashville, and it's so cool to have a spot that's kind of in between everything, and to have a place that even if there isn't a huge big event going on, that it is a crypto friendly kind of hub place that we can stop through and meet up and rest and relax and regroup and do all that together. I don't know. I'm just really bullish, for lack of better terms, on my town, and just really stoked at everything that's going on. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Beeple has in store for the Pepe community, and to see how that turns out. It'll be my first time at Beeple Studios, and really excited about that. Also, Marfa, I've never been there, and I've always wanted to go. And there's a lot of stuff out there that even in traditional art that I can't wait to go and experience. And then obviously Art Basel, where it kind of all started for me in crypto, where I was invited down there in 2020, 2021. And it started this whole journey that we're still on today. So I don't know. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys did. It was super rad being a part of the Pizza DAO. I've always respected and looked up to everything the Pizza DAO is about, and to be picked to do some of the marketing and posters for that event was like amazing, and I'm still pinching myself. And it was a really great experience. It had been a long time since I'd done quote unquote client work, I guess, but it was great, and so I'm looking forward to doing more stuff with you guys. And that's about all I have to say. But I just love you all, and I'm just really excited about everything that we're doing and where we're headed.
I love it. It was an honor to get some of my homies involved, and not just getting involved, but hey, let's start paying our artists and all of our talented people. So that was huge. Let's bring it over to Adele. I think he wants to comment. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wanted to say, if y'all thinking about a project, or you have a project out there that you are looking for funding, I highly recommend going to the upcoming BitAngels events. We have one on the 13th, 14th of August in Toronto, on October 29th in Las Vegas, on November 19th in Las Vegas around the F1, and then finally December 10th in San Juan. So here you go, no excuses. We're coming to you or a place near you. So get off the couch, work on your pitch, and get funded and change your life.
Get
Let's
off the
go.
couch. Get off the couch and change your life. I love it. Man, thank you so much, everyone who came up to speak. This was so wonderful to hear all of your stories, and just a lot of great advice and inspiration to look towards the future. I think this was a really, really awesome episode, a special edition of There's Layers to This. I was your co-host, Valerie, and I'll pass it over to Creatress to wrap us up and close us out.
Well, I don't even know where to even start. We covered a lot. But okay, I think what Adele said is very on point. We'll start there. Get your things in order. If you're ready to raise, get your butt out there. That's one thing. What else did we talk about? It's not about the tech. What is the problem this tech is solving? So if you start getting sad about the market sentiment, just remember that.
People just want to know the time. They want to know the time, not how the watch was made.
Exactly. What else? Nah, I'm excited. It sounds like everybody's kind of planning on Miami. At the end of the year. So I'm excited for that. I'm not signing up for anything before that, just for my own sanity. I do quite like not being on the road. As much as I like going places, I don't like being on the road. I don't like getting places. I need a teleportation machine. That's something else I want to put out there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. We'll come back next week with more updates. Actually, I just thought of something we didn't even mention that I feel like should be mentioned. Isn't there an event that you're working on that's happening literally in like a week, Valerie? I know we just talked about all the events that we were part of, but I know you're already planning another one. And any details you'd like to share?
Thank you. I actually thought we were going to talk about how you were featured in an NBC News article we didn't even mention that. One of the reporters came out to my event, Satoshi Social, and took the opinions and wrote about Creatress in an article. So congratulations to you on getting that highlight. But yeah, speaking of more events, thank you so much for opening the floor for that. If anyone is interested in a conference, it's called VCon. So it's not so much just focused on Web3 and crypto and NFTs. This is actually a conference. It's a kind of like a conference meets festival. This was founded by Gary Vaynerchuk. Some of you may know him. He's, business, marketing, tech. He's been around for a very, very long time. And so he's throwing on a conference in Los Angeles this coming week, August 9th through 11th at LA Live. It's kind of crazy. I know, downtown LA. I don't think they're going to be able to handle it like Nashville was, but hey, we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you're curious about, thought leaders in business, marketing, technology, innovation, and pop culture, along with entertainment and activations, then come to VCon. I am putting on an event. I'm putting on 2 events. My first event is Thursday, August 8th. So let me get that for you. That's put on by my organization that I have with 5 other wonderful ladies, and we are known as Leaders on Chain. And so we are putting on a networking event the day before the conference. This is for people to break the ice, enjoy refreshments, have a couple of bites, and we have a keynote speaker from Maha. Maha owns her own PR and digital marketing agency called Digital and Savvy, and she is actually the PR manager for Gary himself. So we're very honored to have her talk, and she has an upcoming book as well that will be released in October. So you can go ahead and check that out, called 7 Rules of Self-Reliance. And so we've partnered with World of Women NFT Project. We're thankfully sponsored by Patio and Sandbox, and we're super excited to welcome our community sponsor, Women and Weapons. So do not get mixed up, even though this is very female focused and organized, but everyone is welcome. We have some amazing announcements for you guys while you're there. We're going to have a panel as well, and free food and free drinks. So go ahead and sign up and grab your tickets. I've pinned it up top if you're interested. That is this coming Thursday, August 8th. And then this is more of an invite only, but I will share with you guys, because I'm super, super excited that I was hired by Suntory Company, which is a beverage company based in Japan. They do everything from coffee, tea, and water, but you probably know 2 of their big whiskeys here in the US, Jim Beam and Maker's Mark. So Suntory is the Japanese company behind those whiskeys, but they also produce very, very high quality whiskeys that sell anywhere between $60,000 to 6 figures. We are doing a highly invite only curated event Saturday, August 10th from 7 to 11 p.m. If you would like the invite, you may be able to get free depending. I don't know. I have some control over that, but we are selling tickets $80, and this is not to make money. We just want to make sure we're bringing the right people in to enjoy some of these high quality whiskeys and the high quality people that will be there. So if that sounds like something you're interested, DM me and I will send you the direct invite. But yeah, I'm super, super excited for this coming week. And other than that, I'm hoping to go to Marfa, and hopefully I will see you guys at Art Basel. And before then, I'm super excited to take my week-long vacation in Hawaii at the end of August. I cannot wait. So thank you so much. Much love to everyone. And Bitcoin is on sale. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. So many things going on. I can't even. Yes. So y'all stay tuned for next week. I'm sure we'll have more details on all of it. Shout out to Sandman. Shout out to Tarot Tez. Looks like he's a Spaces host too. Tap in if you're into spaces. Thank you everybody for coming by. And also shout out to Token Talk. which is a show that happens every Tuesday evening as well. So if you're into some more Web3 talks, look out for Keegan.